Well, thank you very much. So, since I have, I think, 1 minute, what I've decided to do is to resume what we've done. Okay? And now I will finish also with the textile very quickly. Anyway, I will go first. I'm going to resume what we have said, because as I said, we don't have much time. First of all, what are the main problems in global plastics? I will go to AI later on and all those things, because it's one of the most important AI and sorting and all the new sensors are maybe the most important issue of recycling. There is no other issue than collection and sorting. Technologies, we have plenty of technologies. Everybody has pyrolysis, everybody has everything. So that's not an issue. Now, the recycling rates in worldwide is about 9% of plastics. So only 9% are not recycled. This is due to the fact, mostly because there is no collection and no infrastructure, no matter what. Even in Europe, every infrastructures are different. It doesn't make any sense. We so-called have an EU, European Union, but everybody's doing something different. The French are saying that the Germans are stupid, and the Germans are saying the French are stupid. So we don't have a common issue. So we cannot even, amongst ourselves, export anything. That applies for textile too. Okay, nobody is collecting textile. So whatever textile we collect, we don't know what to do with it, because you need scale. There is no scale anywhere for textile, but I will come back on that. Okay, so collection is the most important thing that we have. That thing. The other thing is contamination and quality issues. Mixed plastics. Okay, eco-design. Now people still tell you that the product is designed for recycle. You all know it's not true. So this is something we're going to have to again, address. Multi-layered packaging is still an issue, but we still need barriers. If we don't have barriers, it's not going to work. Inadequate sorting system. I just said that. We do not have the right adequate system. And we were speaking about EPRs. Basically, in PET, we were terribly unhappy about EPRs. And you did the same in Turkey. You know what we did? Because we weren't happy with EPRs. We decided to ask for deposit, because we had an example in Germany, which was a very good, very, very good example. So EPRs are good to an extent. After that, you need to give a price to the material. If you don't give a price to the material, it's not going to work. Same for textile. Textile now in Europe is becoming what the next thing to collect. And they want to make a copy-paste of the EPR packaging to the EPRs for textile. It's not going to work. If you do not rebuy the textile, people are not going to, they're just going to throw it away, and it's not going to be the deposit effect or the take-back effect, because in this case it would be a take-back effect in the shops. Economic viability, that is another issue that we spoke about. Virgin is often cheaper than recycled plastic as oil, and is getting more and more expensive, especially in Europe. So economical viability is a problem. We were speaking about chemical recycling earlier on. How is it possible to have a 50,000 ton chemical recycling plant, which is going to cost you 100 million euros? Where are the economics? So we have a real problem. We have a real problem. So we have to be very careful to mechanical recycle as much as we can. It is a lot cheaper. Okay? And we have to remember that there was one, but cogeneration is very interesting also, but the problem is CO2 today. We cannot go back on CO2. Cogeneration, unfortunately, consumes a lot of CO2. So we cannot come back. Today we're stuck with depolymerization, maybe pyrolysis, and mechanical recycling. So we cannot come back. There's no way. And of course, this lack of standardization, I always come back, standard and harmonization in Europe. Those are really the four main problems that we have in Europe. Low recyclability rate, contamination, quality issues, economic viability, and lack of harmonization. If we do not manage to do all that, it's just not going to work. Now, the trends, they're the most interesting, but those are the easiest. The recycled content mandate, that is number one. If we do not go to recycled content mandates, if it's not mandatory, nothing's going to work. Textile, packaging, we know it's working for packaging. Yeah? Eco-modulation, of course. Eco-modulation is very important for eco-design. And of course, after eco-modulation, eco-design. And now we come to the sorting. The trends in sorting is fantastic. Now what we have nowadays, we really have AI plus fantastic sensors, plus coordinations between the sensors and the AI. This is where now we have no more excuse. I think we don't have much more excuse. The states will have to regulate as much as possible. But if possible, in good harmony. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Now, very quickly, I'm not going to go for textile. See, I've been 5 minutes, sorry. I'm going to go very quickly into something for textile, because textile, the main problem is the following. Voilà. The main problem is the following. Textile is subject to fast fashion and to ultra-fast fashion. All the regulators will tell you now, you have to reuse. Textile is to reuse, but the problem is, I don't know, not in Turkey, but in Europe, definitely, we cannot reuse the ultra-fast fashion. So all this is piling up and piling up as much as possible, and we cannot export Global South. Global North cannot export Global South anymore because you have the Chinese, which are selling new material at cheaper price unused than whatever we can collect in Europe. So that doesn't work. So what are we doing in PETCO Europe? By the way, PETCO Europe, you have to know, is the value chain, the PET value chain since 1993. When you have a problem, we have the solution, because you have the value chain from the producers down to the glue manufacturer, down to the cork manufacturer, the caps manufacturer. So this is the value chain, okay? So we have an action plan for textile. Also, I've been in the PET business since 1992 as a recycler also, an executive director of PETCO and vice president of PRE, Plastic Recyclers Europe. So since we have this big issue, there is something new now. It's to prioritize polyester textile in the ESPR. And not to say that reuse is that good, is that reuse is not good enough anymore. It's just as simple as that. Reuse is not working. 30% of the turnover of the suits, for example, they were sold before before the war between Ukraine and Russia. They were sold in the East, okay? But now it's not sold. Not even suits are sold anymore. So, and in the fast fashion, we're not as competitive as the Chinese, who is flooding Global South with their material, okay? So what we've decided to do, because somebody has to do it, is to call for the Commission for a crisis plan-driven. Fast track to digital product passport. A digital product passport is something absolutely unbelievable. Voilà. You see, this is going to be in a blockchain. Blockchain is part, by the way, of this modernization of the system. Because more and more, we want the detail of every product. Soon, we will need the detail also of every bottle, where it comes from, how did it go, was it sold by Carrefour or God knows what, or Lidl, or, you know? So in any case, so you see, you have the material composition, organic, cotton, recycled, origin of material, digital passport. That is really going to be, that's a revolution in many ways for the Commission. Environmental footprint. on the DPP. It's not on the label, okay? It's just its product will have a digital passport, product passport. The label is going to be much more simple. This is for the consumer. This is for the industry, for the recyclers, for example. They have to know if we're going to have, if we have to know what sort of colorants, what sort of dyes, what sort of, is it possible? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because whatever is going to be said in India, done in India or in China, good luck, good luck, good luck. Huh? Okay, I have a lot about this. I have recycled content also that I wanted. Okay, this is going to be implemented through a QR code and the blockchain, okay, and the standard GSI. So back to where I was. Yeah, textile ensuring EPR revenue director towards infrastructure and innovation, eco-design in contact. Usually, the problem with EPR, they spend a lot of money on communication and not enough on the business as such. So also for textile, that's a very important issue. We have to prove that the mechanical recycling is easy, it's a lot cheaper. Because for a 20,000 ton plant, okay, it's going to be white cotton up, you maybe going to spend 10 million. So that's okay. Not 150, not 100 million for chemical recycling, depolymerization, and have only 50,000 ton or 20,000 ton. So we're going to have to install something. We have to create a model. Today, in textile, there is no model as such. Yeah, for virgin to virgin, but from post-consumer to depolymerization, there is no real model today. So we're going to have to ask to see how we can finance with the European Investment Bank some targeting some plants. Huh? Provide interim financial support because everybody's dying. You see, the collectors are dying because they don't know what to do. The European collectors, they don't know what to do with the textile that they have done because they cannot sell it to the global south. So they will have, we will have to provide. It's all very nice to have this EU scheme, but that's going to cost much more money than packaging. And believe me, I am there for the packaging since 1991, and I think that the regulation was 1992 or something like that. No, France was 1992 and Europe 1994. Huh? So anyway, provide interim financial support for the collectors, which are all dying in Europe for textile. This is for textile. Huh? It supports, of course, the development of one more EU-funded textile circularity pilot region. We're going to have to do it on a region and to have the scale to maybe go elsewhere. So anyway, I wanted to resume that because I don't think we have much more time. So here you go. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
patience.
Christian, thank you.